welcome to my 517 Follow Friday series. Today, I am joined by Amanda Liford from Easy Life Organizing. Easy Life Organizing saves you from the clutter that has overtaken your home, business, and digital spaces with customized organizing solutions that make your life easier. Amanda, thank you much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited. And Katrina, I love having you as a networking buddy and all the things that you do. You're an amazing person, and I want to be you someday.
Thank you. I love spending time with you because your personality is just like contagious. You always have a smile on your face. Even when you showed up at BNI and you had no voice, you were still smiling. I love your personality and your attitude about life. So right
Weirdly
back at
thank you. Weirdly enough, most people wouldn't know, but I'm naturally very introverted. And so like not that it's like a fake persona, but like it's like a persona that I have to tell myself, okay, Amanda, you're in public and you're
Mhm.
talking. You can't be introvert anymore. So it's great.
I do have to do that sometimes in new networking situations where I don't know as many people. I've got to tell myself it's okay to
Yes,
talk.
it's
Get
okay
out of my
and
shell.
it's better. Alrighty.
All right. So I'm sure you get this question a lot, but can you just start by sharing how did you end up in this organizing world? Where
Um,
what led you here?
I do get this a lot because it's such a unique job, right? It's not like an attorney where you go to a bunch of school and you kind of plan that out. I had no idea
Right.
I'd end up in this field. I've always been very good at my time management, being productive, and I was the kid that every few weeks I would be moving the furniture around in my bedroom because I either got bored of it or like something just wasn't right.
Mhm.
But it really came down to when I worked in automotive manufacturing. There is the automotive way of organizing that I learned about, which is 5S and lean systems, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the thought of creating very simple solutions to save time and energy. One of the first books I read on it was called 2 Second Lean. And it was essentially like, how can we get rid of 2 seconds? How can we make processes just 2 seconds faster? Like little things down
Mhm.
to, hey, we never need this one door to be locked. So why don't we just make it permanently unlocked so you don't have to go through the twisting of the handle motion? Like something so simple, but can be kind of annoying, right? If you're going
Right.
fast, you're like, you miss it. Um, and so that combined with the experience that I needed to do with home staging my own house to sell.
Mhm.
So that kind of started me down the rabbit hole without me realizing it.
Mhm.
And from there, Marie Kondo actually, once she started becoming famous, I realized, oh, people will pay me to do
Mhm.
this. This is,
Right.
I mean, I was kind of doing it. I was helping, don't mind my assistant. I was helping out friends and family members here and there. But once I found out that that was a thing, I started doing it more
Right.
and found out I really liked it. And it started as a side hobby. And I never really imagined it to get this big
Right.
or this big so quickly. I really thought like where I'm at, I thought it was going to take me 5, 6 years to get here, and it's only been a few.
Right. What would you say is your favorite thing about organizing? I know you have a lot of services and it's probably broader than I could imagine, but what what do you get excited about doing?
I get excited because I think of everything as kind of its own puzzle. No two people no two people are alike in this world. And so
Right.
I've always come at it from no two organizing systems are ever the same either. There's similarities between certain things for similar people, but every space is different, every person is different. And so I love the puzzle aspect. It's going in, seeing a space, and then my brain takes my creativity and starts to figure out where's the best spot for things. Can things be moved to different areas to be more effective, to be more efficient? I was just in a house today and I asked her where she brings her groceries into the house, because there's she had one spot where she was storing like Costco stuff, and she's like, well, normally we bring food in through this spot, but Costco specifically actually comes in through this door because we just get it delivered. And I go, oh, so I have a much better idea. We're going to store all of your Costco stuff, your backstock stuff here instead of over here, because it's closer to that door, which means it's more likely to get put away.
Yeah.
And it's the puzzles. It's the
Right.
puzzles.
Interesting. You made me think, you said puzzles and you made me think of our game closet, because in preparation of moving soon, we've started tackling little projects every weekend. And one of the things that we did recently was we have these like top and bottom closets in our hallway, and we've always had games on the top and then like puzzles and little kid toy things on the bottom. And I just recently cleaned that out, donated a bunch of stuff, and it was so satisfying that it wasn't so cluttered, and all of the stuff kind of like lined up, and they were nice little piles. It was very satisfying. So that's interesting. So do you feel like when you walk into a space, your mind kind of just does like this thing where you can reimagine where things should be or where they would be best?
Yes. Hey. Okay, you're gonna have to wait for mommy, okay? Go play with your toys. Okay, but go play with your dinos first. Sorry. Yes. So I'll try. Owen, can you go let a KU in? Yeah. Okay. So yes, right away when I walk into a space, my mind starts to figure out things, and starts to get really creative about what I'm seeing and where I'm seeing certain things end up. And trying to figure out the best possible solution to kind of make everything as streamlined as possible. My brain does it automatically in any space that I walk into. It's just I keep myself quiet in other situations, like when I go to my family's house, friends' houses. My brain starts doing it almost immediately, but I've learned to quiet it down, and when I'm not being asked for my opinion, I've learned to quiet it down, and I'm just
yourself.
yes.
Right.
Yes. But in
That's
my head, I have a list
though.
of 5 different things my mom could do better in her kitchen cabinets already, and the whole 9 yards.
Oh gosh. So how would someone get started with you if either they know they want to work with an organizer, or maybe they just think having you come in would show them just a new perspective on a space? What are the steps that they go through to get started?
So the first step is a free consultation where I come in and I view the space. I ask a lot of open-ended questions to get down to the root of what is their organizing style that's going to work best for them, and what is their true goal. If their goal is just to do a quick once over, it's a very different quote than wanting something that they see on the home edit. It's very, very different quote. Everybody's in a different situation. Some people want to do the work like you're very able, capable of doing the work, but some people don't know where to start. And they're like, I know I want to be organized. I just don't know what product. I don't know how to move things around. And so like some people, it's doing a DIY plan, and that consultation gives us an opportunity to really figure out which is going to be the best method that is going to work best for them in their situation. After that, we start talking about product, we do payment, contract, and then we get them on the schedule. What's really nice about us is that, hey, what's really nice about us is I actually have a team. And so instead of it just being me, or just being me and the client, because let's be honest, if you're hiring an organizer, you don't want to do the work. Most people don't want to do the work. And so I free up that person's time. They're only spending 30 minutes to an hour with me each day, sometimes less. And instead, they're just getting organized while they're living their normal life. And
Right.
so my team makes it happen so much faster. Instead of it taking 7 days, it's only taking us 3 days.
Okay. And I'm curious when it comes to, I was checking out your website, you've got some more traditional organizing services versus some digital and some remote services. So when I think of the more traditional organizing services, what do you feel is either the most welcome or maybe the most needed service when you start working with people?
Ooh. Some of the common things that I find is that not everybody has a mail system. And that's
Oh,
like
okay.
weirdly enough, like no matter what area they were bringing me into, most people don't have a mail system or a good paper system. I think that is some, even though that's not always what I'm being hired for, especially
Mm,
paper, because paper takes a minute. um that is probably usually the most needed across the board. Granted,
interesting.
everybody's storage areas, whether it's their garage or basement, needs something. People tend to need clothing situations too. About on average, 80% of people only use 20% of their wardrobe. And so that is another big area that can be worked on for a lot of people
Mhm.
too. But not everybody seeks me for specifically paperwork or mail systems when it's probably the most needed stuff that I see on a daily basis.
That's interesting. I'm just thinking about our mail and like the mail comes in and ends up on the dining room table and junk goes in the trash and yeah, it probably just sits there. If it's a bill, it sits there until I sit down to pay bills and yeah, I really don't have a system. So that's
Right.
interesting. Okay.
And all this, and for a mail system, it's really like a no-brainer, and it doesn't take any time extra, really any extra time for me to put one together.
Mhm.
It's just mostly figuring out where it goes and how many categories we want to work with. Most people, I end up just doing 3 categories, which is to shred, to file, to do.
Okay.
But some people want additional sections. Some people need one for their kids and their papers
Hmm.
that come home from school. And so it's figuring out what's going to be the best method, but actually implementing it is quite easy. And it really just
Yeah.
involves like every day when you come home, sorting it out into one of those 3 categories: to file, to do, to shred. And that's it. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, when you have no mail coming in, um,
Mhm.
you deal with everything and you start fresh the next week. So that's one of the one systems that is the least intrusive to normal people's daily lives, because I literally don't have you deal with the mail on a daily basis. You're just putting it into a section and then you
Yeah.
just deal with it once a week instead.
I would need such a big section for kids stuff because the kids come home and I unzip their backpacks and it's not orderly in any way. It's just they stuff it in there and it's all crumpled up or it's folded in half and it's usually stuff that is going to go in the trash. It's but you can't throw it away when they're watching. I actually did that last night and my middle child, he's like, "Hey, where's that sheet?" And I was like, I threw it away and well, I wanted that. And so I dug it back out of the trash and luckily it hadn't been ruined. And yeah, it's just there's so much junk that comes in the kids' backpacks. So
It really is. And I I told myself, I'm like, I hate how much stuff, even like he goes to like a preschool daycare situation and
mhm,
they send the
so much stuff.
so much stuff, and it's like the dumbest, I feel bad saying it's the dumbest thing ever, but it's like a piece of paper that he glued like smaller squares onto. And I'm like,
Mhm.
great, he's not really Picasso yet. I don't need you to send me that home yet. Okay. Um, but with kids, I usually empower the kids with their drop zone areas for their paperwork. I empower kids to actually be the ones to manage that and make the decisions. So Those end up usually being 3 to 5 sections because there's so many different things that go into it. And so
Yeah.
I actually worked with Lansing Mom, and I think a couple weeks ago we posted a post specifically on kid drop zone areas and different sections like, hey, here's a section for your homework. When you come home, put your homework in here, put things that mom and dad need to see in this section, put things that you think are important and you want filed away in this section, and then always making sure there's a section for outgoing, so things that need to go back to school from mom or dad, or so that there's a spot for even the kid to know, oh, I got to take these back to school. Like,
Right. That is such a good idea. I think our oldest could handle that. He could do the decision making. That's a really good idea. I like that. I actually just got connected with Lansing Mom and recently, so I'll have to go check out that post. So aside from the traditional services, can you talk a little bit about the digital services that you offer? Like, what exactly is it that you help them offer or that you help them organize?
So digital services are a little unique. I do photos, videos, documents, and emails as well. And so what the digital side is it came about because I had a lot of people ask me why my inbox looks so empty. How do I not have 1,000 emails in my inbox right now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, how do you have 1,000 emails in your inbox? How do you operate with 1,000 emails in your inbox? And so that kind of came about, and I started realizing, like, oh, this is actually a need for people. And just like our spaces, our physical spaces get cluttered and it causes stress, our digital spaces get cluttered and cause us stress as well. The more that we use technology, the more clutter we have, even down to like how many apps are on our phone. There's probably a good, on most people's phones, 10 apps that they probably don't use anymore and just have never uninstalled, and it's just taking up space. It's just, and so I started doing the digital organizing, and it's been such a huge change for a lot of people who go through the process, because again, we customize the folders we use, the way we sort things to what the client needs and how the client's brain thinks. For me, I look at things by category and then year. So like in my business stuff, I have a folder for HR, a folder for finance. And then once I get down to a certain point, I start categorizing by year. Some people think differently. They want to know the year, and then they want to know HR, finance, and everything else. And so it's catering to the person and the way that their brain thinks.
That's interesting. I don't even want to look and see how many emails I have. I do periodically go through and delete things, but for the most part, I feel like I've been kind of taught to keep everything. And maybe that's just the industry that I'm in, but yeah, that would be a scary thing to organize.
And everybody's lives is a little bit different, and especially yours, because there's so much, just like with paperwork, it's really similar to paperwork too, is, you want to keep certain things for so long, other things for so long as well. So same thing with our emails. All the life of you're not going back to school. Back to school.
No, not school. It's the end of the day.
We were in the car driving. He's like, I want to go back to school. I'm like, what is happening? I can't take you back. It's time for us to go home. So yeah, that's and I mean, I love doing digital organizing. I do it a couple different ways, but mostly I just usually get the credentials from my clients and I tap in on my devices so that I don't even have to take up any of my clients' time. And then toward the end, I kind of set up a questions consult where I spend some time with them and ask them certain questions to kind of tidy up loose ends.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Do you want to share anything about the VIP page that you have? little
Yeah,
plug for that?
definitely.
Okay.
So I have a VIP community. It's called Organizing Your Life.
Okay.
And what it is it is a paid community. So you just pay $5 a month. It's probably less than most of our coffees anyway. $5 a month, and you get access to this Facebook group where I just give so much of my knowledge and my experience into this group. So this group gets exclusive content. It gets, interviews very similar to this I do once a
Mhm.
month, and they get first access to that. They get access to give certain giveaways, events they get first access to. They get discounts on certain events. It's really geared toward people who want to be organized, who just need a little bit of encouragement but want to do it themselves. And so it's a wonderful resource. Part of that group, we have a challenge complete club, so every month is a different challenge. So
Okay.
I kind of give tons of tips on how to go through and downsize in your pantry, and how to create a working system for your pantry. This month we're talking about spring cleaning because it worked out very, very well. And so I'm gonna do an interview with my junk removal guy, Chris from Dumperoo. He's gonna be my guest speaker this month. And again, just tons of information on how they can get organized on their own. And then they have
Okay.
access to me to ask questions.
Okay. And is that something that they sign up for on your webpage or on Facebook?
So I have everybody sign up on the web page first,
Okay.
and then you'll get a link to request access to the group.
Okay.
You can stop.
So the last thing I was going to ask you about is something that I didn't even know that you offered, which is courses. So I just want you to share anything that you want to, I guess, about courses. And then after that, anything else that you'd like to share before we sign off. So take it away.
Yeah, so courses. I do have a course. It is probably a year or two old now.
Okay.
But it's an online organizing course. So there is one on my website. It's online organizing. When I eventually have more spare time, I have another course in mind, but right now it's just the email organizing. So instead of hiring me to do your email organizing, I give you the step-by-steps on what I call the Great Purge. How
Okay.
to do the Great Purge in your email. It has documents, it has resources for you to go through. It's very step-by-step. And you go at your own pace. And very similar to what a DIY plan would do, the online course does it, and you go at your own pace, which is really great. I also teach certain things. So it's not necessarily an online course, but I do offer classes. I've done a decluttering
Okay.
class. I'm doing an email class in October for another group. Just on ways that they can bring more organizing to their life in their own customized situations.
Okay. All right.
The
I
only
can
other
just
thing,
tell. Oh, go ahead.
oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. So the only other thing that I want to touch on, it's something that I haven't been promoting very much, and I want to get back to promoting, is I have a program I call Operation Transformation.
Okay.
It's available to anybody in the greater Lansing area, Williamston, Charlotte, DeWitt, Mason, everywhere in between, Weberville even. And what it is, it's an opportunity for those who want organizing help, but they want to save a little bit of money, and they want to do monthly payments. That is the big perk, is monthly payments. So you either purchase 6 or 12 organizer days with 2 people, and instead of paying half down or all at once, you get to split that cost up into monthly payments. But then you
Okay.
also get either a 20 or 25% discount on the service itself. So you're saving money, monthly payments, and you're getting organized. You kind of just get the bank of days to use whenever you want. I have one client who's in the program, and we're probably going to use up all of their days in the next month or two. But then she has all the way until December to finish her payments. So it's a
Right.
really nice alternative for those in the greater Lansing area.
That is nice. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Um, Okay, so I will share all of your contact information, all the links for social and stuff in the caption for this video. Um, if you're watching and you need to get organized or you're looking to increase or improve your productivity, I highly recommend that you reach out to Amanda. If you're interested in being featured on the Follow Friday series, you can send me an email at Katrina@cornerstonelegalplc.com. Thank you, Amanda, and thank you all for watching.